All right, so good morning, everybody. As discussed, we will tackle all of the remaining topics for tourism planning and development. So, for chapter 9, we will discuss tourism impact and monitoring. Aaron, can you please read the learning objectives? Okay, so these are the learning points that you will be able to acquire at the end of our discussion. So moving forward, first, let's define tourism impact monitoring. So how do we define or how we discuss tourism impact monitoring and paano ba natin siya ginagawa when it comes to covering up our different tourism destinations, attractions, products, and services. So when we say tourism impact monitoring, it refers to the systematic observation, collection, and analysis of data to assess the effects of tourism on destinations, environment, cultures, and local communities. So, as you remember on our previous discussion, we tackled the different impacts of tourism in different aspects such as environment, economy, socio-cultural aspects. So there are positive impacts and there are negative impacts. And those impacts should be monitored. That's why we have this word tourism impact monitoring, meaning all of those positive and negative impacts that we are encountering on the different attractions and destinations and the different effects of tourism not only in our sector or industry but also globally, kailangan natin siyang i-monitor. Okay, whether it is positive or whether it is negative. For example, one of the positive impacts of tourism is in terms of economy is job creation. So now, how are we going to monitor if job creation is really a positive impacts of tourism. So ano ba yung mga measurements or mga indicators na dapat nating gamitin? That's how tourism impact monitoring is being done. Okay, we need to monitor those positive and negative effects. Now, why do you think uh, tourism impact monitoring is necessary? So bakit ba mahalaga na tayo ay nagsasagawa ng impact monitoring when it comes to the positive and negative effects of tourism industry or tourism activities? Anyone from the group? What's the benefits of doing tourism impact monitoring? Why do we need to monitor those impacts? Yes, Lorraine. Okay, very well said. So it helps us to track or give us an idea on the things or on the matters that we need to focus on or kung ano yung kailangan nating bigyan ng pansin. So very good, Lorraine. Next, Mark. Okay, very good. Sustainable tourism development. So we should or we also need to monitor those effects in order for us to know if na-maintain ba natin siya or akala natin okay pa siya, gamit lang tayo ng gamit or pinupuntahan lang natin siya. But at the end of the tunnel or at the back of those walls, hindi na pala siya okay. Degraded na pala siya or distracted na pala siya. So those are some of the correct reasons why do we need to have monitoring in the different aspects of tourism impact. So these are the top four things that you should remember. Why do we need to do monitoring? So as mentioned by Mark, so sustainable tourism development. When we say sustainable or sustainability, we should make sure that the current tourism products and services that we are using can still be used by the future generation. In short, we are doing monitoring para mapangalagaan natin siya or take good care natin yung mga products and services natin today para mas mapakinabangan pa siya ng future generation. Okay? Because as you remember, our tourism products and services, sometimes they are perishable. Meaning, kapag nawala siya or naglaho siya, hindi na natin siya mababalik. Especially yung mga attractions and destinations na natural or God creation. Okay? Next, under also ng Sustainable Tourism Development is the 7 Sustainable Development Goals para malaman natin or ma-monitor natin if we are covering up those Sustainable Development Goals. Nakikita ba natin doon? Halimbawa, we are focusing on the waste management, on the water management, hunger, like job creation, revenue generation. So, lahat yun ay papasok sa tourism development. Another example, class, is resource optimization. When we say resource optimization, nalalaman ba natin or alam ba natin yung tamang paggamit ng mga resources na meron tayo, katulad ng water, energy, air. So, nagagamit ba natin siya ng tama? Or hindi, nasasayang lang siya kasi hindi tayo nagmo-monitor. Okay? Next is informed decision making. When we say informed decision making, we should monitor tourism impact in order for us to create policies when it comes to investment, rules and regulations that the tourist and the customer should follow in order for us to preserve those tourism attractions and destination. And lastly, class, community engagement. Para makita natin if yung mga local community na nakatira doon sa destination na yon or doon sa place kung saan nakatayo yung attraction ay are they involved? Okay? So, are they putting inputs when it comes to decision makings? Meron ba silang mga plataforma or meron ba silang mga proposals or actions when it comes to taking good care of those products and services? That's why tourism impact monitoring is necessary or essential. Next is indicators of tourism impact. So, ma'am, ano po ba yung indicators? What's the meaning of indicators? Anyone from the group? Based on your understanding, what do we mean when we say indicators? Nan? Yes, Mark. Perfect. Very well said example. So, correct, class. A very simple explanation as mentioned by Mark sa mga phones natin. Kapag malolobat na siya or mafo-full charge na siya, nakikita natin yung levels or nakikita natin yung percentage. Same with tourism impact. When we say indicators, ito yung mga measurement values or benchmarks na pwede nating gamitin para ma-assess if a certain products, services, attractions, or destinations are malapit ng ma-degrade, masira, mawala, or masyado nang mataas yung um, impact na nagagawa ng mga actions natin. For example, in a certain destination, sobrang dami ng basura. So how are you going to measure that? Okay, that are those indicators. Meaning, sila yung mga signs or signals na nagpapakita sa atin or nagbibigay sa atin ng um, warnings na, oh, kailangan nyo nang gumawa ng actions, kailangan nyo nang gumawa ng research, kailangan nyo nang gumawa ng strategy to solve these problems. Okay? That's what we call indicators. Now, we have three levels of indicators that we should take in consideration when we are creating a tourism plan. So, yun naman yung pinaka output natin in this subject, the creation of tourism plan. But bago kayo makakapagawa ng isang tourism plan, you need to consider all of this matters. So, there are three levels of indicators. The first one is the global indicators. Second is regional indicators. And the third one is the local indicator. So, what are the examples ba or the overview when we say global level? So, when we say global level, edi globally, worldwide. These are the things or a concern that you need to take in consideration when it comes to tourism impact monitoring ng pangkalahatan or pangbuong mundo. So, ano ba yung mga kailangan nating tingnan or bigyang pansin when it comes to global level, when it comes to indicator? Okay, ano ba yung mga possible problems? So, ito naman ay top 4 possible problems lang na pwede nating ma-encounter when it comes to tourism impact in a global level. Okay, so the first one is climate change. Okay, so ito ay pangkalahatang problema or challenge, barrier na na-encounter natin globally. So, climate change. So, what do you think is the indicator na meron ng climate change globally? Anyone from the group? When we say indicators, these are the signs, the signals that shows us the negative or the positive impact of tourism. Yes, Veronica. Okay, very good. So one of the indicators na meron ng climate change is the rising temperature worldwide. Why? Kasi nga sira na yung ozone layer natin. Before, during summer, kaya pa nating mag-sunbathing or lumabas kahit tanghali or hapon. But nowadays, kahit alas 8 ng umaga or alas 9 ng umaga, masakit na sa balat yung rays or yung sinag ng araw. So that's one of the indicators of climate change. Another example is biodiversity conservation. So what do you think is the indicator when we say when it comes to biodiversity conservation? Anyone? When we say biodiversity, these are the living, non-living things such as animals and plants, okay, on Earth. Yes, Mark. Okay, very good. So, those wild animals or exotic plants that are diminishing or unti-unti nang nawawala are one of the indicators of biodiversity conservation when it comes to global level. Next is we have cultural preservation. So, pwede nating i-check if yung mga kultura ba ng iba't ibang bansa ay nape-preserve pa ba siya, na-maintain pa ba siya, na-retain pa ba siya. For example, when you go to the Philippines, yung mga nakasanayan nating kultura like po at opo, pagbe-bless, um, being hospitable with our um, people. Okay? Meron pa ba? Nagagawa pa ba siya? So, those are some of the things that you need to take in consideration. And lastly is global economic benefits. When we say global economic benefits, are there is there a positive impact when it comes to economic benefits globally? For example, marami bang negosyo yung umuusbong sa iba't ibang panig ng bansa? Nagkakaroon ba ng free market or malayang kalakalan yung different regions across the globe? or patuloy na bumabagsak yung ekonomiya ng iba't ibang bansa due to wars, due to terrorism, and some other factors that we cannot control. So these are some of the factors under global level that you take in consideration when it comes to indicators. Next is regional level. So kung kanina, global level, worldwide or pangkalahatan or pangkabuuan, dito regional level. For example, Asia Pacific region. Okay? Or European region, Russian region, American region. So meron na tayong cluster. So doon sa geographic cluster na yon or sa geographic locations na yon, ano ang status ng impact ng tourism. Okay, so what are the things that we need to take in consideration when it comes to regional level? As I said, these are only the top examples, but there are also other matters. Okay, first is economic growth. Sa region ba na yon, malago ba yung ekonomiya doon? Lahat ba ng tao ay may magaan na pamumuhay na nakikinabang sa turismo? Okay? So, yung income or revenue generation ba ay mabilis? Madami bang trabaho na napoproduce on that region? Okay? Next, infrastructure development. So, in that region ba, for example, in Asia Pacific region, ano-ano ba yung mga bansa na nandun? Nandun ang Philippines, Malaysia, Singapore, Cambodia, Thailand. In that region, infrastructure development, booming ba yung transportation sectors nila? Marami bang tinatayong LRTs, MRTs, railway system, buildings, what do you call this? Different facilities, so on and so forth. Next, environmental quality. Pag pumunta ka ba dun sa region na yon, sobrang taas ba ng pollution or the air quality is good, the water's quality is good, the energy is good, or sobrang taas ng kuryente, laging walang tubig, sobrang ingay, so on and so forth. Okay? And lastly, cultural heritage management. When we say cultural heritage management, are they giving emphasis or are they giving care on their cultural heritage? Pinapangalagaan ba nila yung mga naiwang history ng mga ninuno nila? Katulad sa Philippines, 'di ba? There are a lot of cultural heritage that we are managing or taking good care. For example, yung Calle Crisologo in Vigan. We also have the Emilio Aguinaldo House located in Kawit, Cavite. There are also festivals na ginaganap pa rin natin like the Kadayawan Festival, ano pa ba, Sinulog Festival. So those are culture that being preserved, okay, as part of the indicator level under the regions. Okay? Next, local level. When we say local level, ito na yung pinakamaliit na unit, okay, na dapat ay binibigyan natin ng pansin. So, kunwari, globally, so buong mundo, region, halimbawa ay Asia Pacific region, specifically sa Philippines, and then local in Cavite, for example. So, titingnan natin if indicators in a local level, kunwari Cavite, ay nasa satisfy or nabibigyan ng pansin. So, these are some of the factors that you need to take in consideration when it comes to local level. So, for example, in Cavite, when it comes to tourism impact, under customer satisfaction, yung mga tao ba sa Cavite, are they satisfied when it comes to tourism activities? Okay, nakikinabang ba sila? Nagkakaroon ba sila ng trabaho? Nagkakaroon ba sila ng mas mataas na income given the activities of tourism? Okay, so you also need to assess community satisfaction. Kasi hindi pwedeng business lang tayo ng business, pero nane-neglect natin yung satisfaction ng host community natin. Host community is part as well of tourism activities because without them, okay, wala rin tayong market or wala rin tayong customer. Next, waste management. In Cavite ba, meron bang proper waste disposal? Are they following reduce, reuse, recycle? Meron bang batas, policies, or rules and regulations when it comes to management or waste management rather? Next, water quality. So, lagi bang may tubig ang bawat uh, housing facilities and establishment in Cavite when it comes to tourism? Okay, when you go to Picnic Grove, okay, you're going to use the comfort room. When you flush the bathroom or the faucet, meron bang tubig? And kung merong tubig, is the quality good? Hindi ba siya kulay brown or black? Okay? So, another example ng water quality class is when you go to Palawan, if any one of you went to Palawan already, uh, they do not advise for those tourists who are going to Palawan na uminom ng tubig, yung tap water, yung sa gripo or yung sa baso, laging bottled water. Kasi yung water quality ng Palawan ay hindi kaaya-aya or nagkakaroon ng negative effect when consumed by the tourist. So maraming report, statistics na nagsusuka, nagkakaroon ng diarrhea, amoeba. So that's water quality. And lastly, community engagement. When we say community engagement, nagkikisama or nakikihalubilo ba ang komunidad sa pagsulong or sa taas ng antas ng turismo dun sa local level na yon, or wala silang pakialam at all. Okay? So those are the three hierarchy levels of indicators: global, regional, and local. Do you still follow, class? Okay. Next is key criterias for indicators. So, when we say key criterias for indicators, kapag gagawa tayo ng measurements or gagawa tayo ng numbers or values para masukat natin yung impact ng turismo in a certain destination, these are the things that we need to take in consideration. So, the first one is we have relevance. May I call on Bianca? Can you please read? Bianca, are you there? Can you can you please read? Okay, thank you, Bianca. Anyone who can explain to me? One of the criterias of indicators is you have to create it in relevance or relevant to the topic. So how do we do this? Paano natin ginagawa na maging relevance or relevant ang isang indicator? Anyone? Okay. So, when we say relevance, class, yung pipiliin natin na measurement or na numbers na panukat doon sa gagawin nating tourism plan ay kailangan aligned doon sa specific issue. So, for example, ang issue nyo ay waste management in your destination. So, dapat ang indicators na gagawin nyo or yung signals na gagawin yung panukat ay related to waste management. So, paano ba natin masusukat ang waste disposal in a certain destination? What are the measurements that we can use? Okay. So, when we say relevance, kunwari, ang problema ng destination ay waste or basura. So, paano natin susukatin yung basura? Paano natin malalaman, ay oo nga, ang dami na ngang basura dito sa attractions na to or sa destinations na to? You can measure it or you can use a specific measurement. For example, susukatin nyo yung tonelada or kilo ng basura na tinatapon ng mga turista or ng mga uh, locals dun sa specific destinations na yon. So, that's how relevance is being used. You should use a proper measurement to a specific issues. Hindi yung basura yung problema nyo, pero ang sinusukat nyo, water quality. Okay? Or basura yung problema nyo, pero ang pinagtutuunan nyo ng pansin, yung mga pickpockets or yung mga terrorists. So, hindi siya relevant. Okay? So, nagsusumigaw na nga yung problema na basura yung problema, pero nakafocus pa rin kayo sa ibang bagay. Okay, so you should identify your issues first. And then, kapag na-identify yung issues na yon, kailangan yung humanap ng measurements or ng numbers na susukatin yung problema na yon. So, katulad dun sa basura, di pwede nyong sukatan or i-measure na ilang tonelada ba ng basura ang napoproduce ng mga turista dito sa destination na to sa araw-araw. Or ilang kilo ba ang napoproduce ng bawat pamilya sa isang araw. Okay? So, you use that computation. Next, measurability. From its word, measurability. Kailangan nabibilang siya or naku-quantify. Hindi pwedeng, oo, problema nga namin basura dito eh. Pag tinanong kayo ng evaluators, gaano kadaming basura yung napoproduce nyo? Basta madami. Hindi pwedeng ganun yung sagot. It should be measurable. Meron kayong specific numbers. Pwede nyong sagutin, based on the computation, ang napoproduce na basura dito sa destination na to ay 10 tonelada sa bawat buwan. So, kung i-compare mo sa ibang locality na 5 tonelada lang yung napoproduce nila, mas madami yung napoproduce namin. So, yun talaga yung problema namin. So, when we say measurability, meron dapat kayong specific numbers. Okay? It should be identified. It should be quantified. Next, sensitivity. Okay? Okay, when we say sensitivity class, na ipapakita niya agad or nabibigyan niya agad kayo ng signal na kailangan nyo nang mag-respond or kailangan nyo nang kumilos, kailangan nyo nang gumalaw. One of the best example of indicators when it comes to sensitivity is yung checking the water levels, lalo na kapag may bagyo. Alam niyo yung yung sa mga ilog class, yung may mga creek, may nakikita ba kayo dong malalaking poste tas may nakalagay na 450 meters, 650 meters? Have you seen that even online? Kapag may nagbabalita, tas pinapakita yung video ng tubig na tumataas, tas may measurement dun sa pader. That's what we call sensitivity indicators. Sa unang tingin mo pa lang, makikita mo na, 450 meters na yung tubig dun sa dam. So, anong gagawin mo? Kailangan na bang lumikas ng mga tao na nakatira malapit dun sa dam? So on and so forth. That's what we call sensitivity. Another example ng sensitivity is kapag may bagyo, 'di ba? Yung mga nagbabalita sa atin, naglalagay sila ng signal numbers. Signal number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we all know that per signal number, nandun yung ilang kilowatts na yung hangin, yung lakas or yung bugso. So, sa bawat level or sa bawat signal na itinataas nila, nalalaman natin, ano yung gagawin nating actions? Pag signal number 1 ba, canceled na agad yung klase? Pag signal number 5 ba, kailangan ng lumikas agad? Okay? That's sensitivity. Next, practicality. When we say practicality, in short, you use a tools or you use a resources na required doon sa kailangan nyong sukatin. Okay? And you have to make sure that the prices or the amount of that tools or resources are cost effectively measured. Ibig sabihin, hindi sobrang mahal, hindi naman sobrang mura. Fit lang dun sa requirement na kailangan nyo. And comparability. When we say comparability, hindi lang dun sa location nyo siya pwedeng magamit. Sa isang location lang. Meaning, you can use that indicators from one location to another location. Okay? So, comparability is being flexible. Okay? so that yung resources or yung tools na in-acquire ninyo ay magagamit nyo not only in one location but in different locations. And lastly, indicators by the type of industry. Now, this is a graded recitation. Magpapakita ko ng different industry in the tourism and hospitality, and then give me one indicators or give me one example ng mga bagay na pwede nating sukatin sa mga industry na yon. Okay? So ako muna, for example, hotels or accommodation, mga hotels, Airbnbs, what are the indicators na pwede nating sukatin or i-check dito? So for example, sa hotels, usage of shampoos, soaps, toiletries. So indicators yun or one of the problems yun ng hotel. So paano natin malalaman na yung toiletries ay masyado ng mataas yung paggamit ng mga customers or ng mga guests? So halimbawa sa isang room, ang allocated lang dapat na toiletries ay 2 kasi 2 persons lang naman yung nagamit nun. Pero yung tourist, 5 sets yung hinihingi. So, yun yung indicators natin. Na-measure natin na sumusobra na sila sa pag-request or sa paghingi. Anyone from the accommodation sector, give me the problem and paano natin siya susukatin. Accommodation sector. Anyone from the group? None? Another example sa accommodation class, usage of water. Okay? As per problema is usage of water or water management. Sa sukat, pwede nyo siyang sukatin per liters na nagagamit ng customer. So, one of the indicators yon. Jasmine. Yes, dear. Loud and clear. Okay, good. So, halimbawa, dalawa lang kayo na naka-check-in pero ang hingi nyo ng bathroom, 5. So, problem na agad yon. So, indicators nun, 2:5 na agad yon. 2 lang yung people, pero 5 yung request. Okay, that's in accommodation sector. How about in sa mga tourist attractions? What are the problems that we encounter? And paano natin yun mame-measure if problems ba talaga yon when it comes to tourist attractions? Anyone? None? Okay, one of the best examples sa tourist attraction class is mass tourism. Halimbawa, yung isang destination, ang capacity niya lang 100 a day. Pero ang ina-accept niyong turista, 500 a day. So imagine the negative impact of those tourists in that destination. 100 lang yung capacity, pero 500 yung ina-accept nyo. Indicators yon or signal yon na, stop na. Wag muna tayong mag-accept. Almost times 5 na yung pumupunta dun sa attractions natin. Hindi na natin kayang i-carry or hindi na natin kayang i-manage. Okay? Mass tourism for tourist attractions. Next, food and beverage sector. Anyone? How? Or what are the common problems and how do we measure it? What are the signals or the signs? Mark. Okay. Okay, very good. The safety of the food that you are sharing to your guest or to your customer. Yung every time na mag-share ka, laging ang daming nagkakasakit or nagkakaroon ng foodborne illness. So, one of the best example din yon. Next, malugaw, Mercy. Yes, dear. Okay. Very good. So, best example din yun, class, lalo na sa mga buffet, di ba? Kaya nga yung mga buffet restaurants, naglilimit sila ng food waste by providing policy na kapag may natirang pagkain dun sa plato or hindi ubos, ay magbabayad yung customer or additional charge. So, food waste is being measured as one of the indicators. And lastly, class, sa events, what are the common problem that we can encounter? And how do we measure it? Anyone? In events? Ivan. Okay, very good. Lalo na yung open ground concert that you cannot monitor everybody. 'Di ba? Thousands of people are attending and then pag alis nila, punong-puno ng basura or ng waste yung grounds. So, doon masusukat nyo din. One of the best example then is the number of theft or pickpockets. Kasi syempre, dikit-dikit kayo dyan and you do not know the persons behind you. So, the number of people who reported na sila ay nanakawan, nasalisihan. So, yun also ay indicators. Okay? And that's the end of our first chapter. Any questions, class?